Adjustment number 1. If the policy of the company is to measure the cost of inventory, 5-4 method. Correct method lamai 5-4 method. Right? 5-4 method. The cost of inventory 31st March has been measured at weighted average cost, WAC method. Due to the mistake, that incorrect method, that value has been accounted. The cost of inventory as a 31st March according to 5-4 methods, 6,750. Right? Therefore, according to 5-4 method, right? 5-4 method lamai correct value how much? Right? This is the correct double entry. Closing stock debit 6,750. Cost of sales credit 6,750. Right? This is the correct one. Right? But incorrect double entry according to WAC method, how much? Look at the TB trial balance lamai. Can you tell me how much the closing inventory record? How much the closing inventory recorded in TB? Refer and tell me the closing stock. How much the closing stock in trial balance? How much? 6,488. Tick the TB value. That's the incorrect value. That's the value they have recorded, right? I mean TB. In TB, you can see this one, me trial balance. Clear? So what's the difference? So can you actual value lama is 6,750 but recorded 6,488. So can you tell me the correction entry? Comparing these two lama, can you tell me the correction entry? What's the difference? Can you tell me the difference? Please use the calculator. Is it 262? Yes, me. Kochara madida 262 me correct double entry closing stock debit 262. Cost of sales credit 262 deducted from cost of sales. Clear the adjustment number 1. I think then here my closing stock already calculated. Therefore, the debit entry my 262 added to the closing stock. Right, 62. Right, debit entry, credit entry my deducted from closing stock. No credit entry. Debit, credit. Me, tell me the TB balance. How much the TB balance? Trial balance was how much? It's 6,488. I mean, take the TB balance. Ekadala 4,000, 6,488. Trial balance adjusted and adjusted value how much? 6,750. Adjusted value. Take the TB balance, huh? Okay, and also my check the TB balance. Cost of sales was how much? How is the cost of sales? 51,000. Take the cost of sales. 51,300. Write down deducted and write down the adjusted cost of sales. Huh. 51,038. Directly adjusted, right? Ah, hurry up. Number 2, the administration. Row number 2, the administration expense for the year consists in the following items, right? Look at the TB balance of the admin balance kiyatha ban TB ge. It's 6,462 neda, right? How much here also that total, but breakdown of the admin, right? What are the items? Directors remunerations are me. Directors remuneration should be like disclosed under note number 1, keep in mind. And salaries, depreciations also are me. Depreciation calculated. Audit fee also disclosed under note number 1, other administrative, right? Okay, right. Let's read the next one. Third one, advertising expense, right? Adjustment number 3. Adjustment number 3, the advertising expense of the business company 350,000 has been paid by director from his personal bank account. Director pay, and this amount has been reimbursed by the company. That means now again business has reimbursed to the director. Any company ka I mean first and right. Finally the company paid me, right? And accounted it in directors remunerations. No, incorrect. You can't record in directors remunerations, right? You have to remove from directors remunerations, right? 350 and recorded as advertising expense of the business. Me, this is the adjustment entry. Me, advertising expense debit 350, right? You have to deduct it from directors remuneration. Directors remuneration ke liye directors salary, yeah? Right? But this is included in my admin expense ni. So you have to deduct it from admin expense. Understand? Deduct it from admin. Clear? Directly you can, if you can deduct it from admin, right? You can record it, right? Debit entry here. Distribution. Debit deduct from admin. Reverse advertising expenses 350. 350. Right, pay on about it. Right. Now, next one, round number 4. The company has entered into a contract with customer March 1st. Highlight the date March 1st. Right, March 1st. Right. So, our accounting period ended 31st March. 31st March. But they have signed a contract March 1st. Clear? March 1st. Right. To sell goods, make contract sign. Sign the contract. Sign, right. Sign the contract. For selling goods and services, provides maintain service during the first 3 months, first 6 months after the sales. What is accounting standard there? This is from SLFRS 15 revenue standard, right? Let's see. Right, after sales, right? There are two obligations: selling goods and also providing maintenance service, right? So the total consideration contract was 1,500, of which 1 million relates to the sales of goods, right? 1 million is sales, right? Therefore remaining, so I'll write down here the total transaction price 1,500. So of which selling sales good 1,000, so remaining 500 what? For service. For the service. Write down like this somewhere else. Right, for the service. Are the services. Right, for the service. So the company sold all goods agreed in the contract 31st March, which means lamai here this agree sign, and 31st March lamai what? Goods sold. Sold. Clear the sold goods. Right. Therefore lamai then, right. So can you identify sales income? Can you identify sales income here? Yes, because then income recognized when risk and rewards are transferred to the customers, right? Therefore here, so goods sold, right? Goods sold, but lamai then service provide after sales, right? After sales for next 6 months, me. Then here next 6 months comes from what? Coming from actually next accounting period, next year. Then here accounting period ended 31st March. Therefore, next 6 months actually relevant for what? Next accounting period, right? Read the remaining part. The company sold all goods agri 31st March. Total consideration was received in cash. Total consideration received, right? Therefore, can you tell me the double entry here, right? Double entry, correct double. Then you can't recognize this one, yeah. Therefore, because this is definitely in advance received service, right? Total consideration received, but income should be how much? Only 1,000. Relevant sales. Clear to me? On cash, debit 1,500, sales income credit what? 1,000. Therefore, next one what? In advance, right? In advance, that is 500. But remember, SLFR is 15 account standards. Or in advance value we call what? මොකක්ද අපි කියන්නේ ඒකට? What's a special word called? Again, revenue. Yeah, unearned revenue, right? This is the correct double entry. Unearned revenue. Unearned revenue, which means simply what? The meaning actually in advance. Clear? But how they have recorded? How they have recorded? This is some error correction. How they have recorded? Total received amount credited to sales account. Clear? The total received amount credited to sales account. Cash debit 1,500, sales credit 1,500, 1,500. Clear? Can you tell me the correction in reading? There's no any issues with cashes, right? There's no any issues with cashes, but sales credit 1,500, actual should be 1,000, but haven't recognized unearned revenue. What we have to do? The excess lama is 500 credited to the sales account. Therefore, again what? Sales lama debit. Again sales debited, that excess value, which means minus, credited to unearned revenue account. Unearned revenue. Clear? Unearned revenue. Unearned revenue. Clear? That's the adjustment 10, right? Sales account debit what? Minus 500 debit entry. Unearned revenue recorded under what? Current liability. Right. Clear? So you can adjust sales revenue. It's better if you end of the questions we can adjust because how the end adjustments, right? Credit, debit. Row number 5 lamaya. Row number 5. I think there was a depreciations amount included in admin, right? So here in row number 5, the following information relates to property, plant and equipment, right? Land, building, motor vehicle and office equipment, right? Questions provide opening balances. There are purchases, additions and depreciations. Then here my depreciation, which means already calculated. But under admin, right? Under admin, how much was the depreciations? How much was the depreciations total under admin balance? Look at the row number 2 again. 2,225, right? 2,225. So then here my admin depreciation means simply my what? Only building depreciations and office equipment depreciations. Clear? The building depreciations how much? 725. Office equipment depreciations 1,500. Look at these two total. Only these two. Then motor vehicle depreciation what? Admin. Sorry, no, sorry. Distribution. motor vehicle depreciations recorded under distribution expense, right? That means that's why admin depreciation is equals to building and office equipment rights, right? Let's on complete. Accumulated depreciations 31st March and also carrying amount also provide. So don't record any amount because there can be errors and or you have to recalculate. Understand? Right? Now read. I will erase these things. Good liyan diba? Ekakpat record karan diba? Right now. Now look at read the remaining one, right? Item by item, item by item you have to record, right? Don't record anything, right? Read the remaining one. Land and the land of the business was revalued 2016. Highlight the date and write down previous year 16, and this is not 2020, right? 2016 means previous years, few years ago. Revalued, first time revalued, right now. And surplus resulted from this revaluation presented in under by the land revaluation reserves. Look at the trial balance. Trial balance in the revaluation reserves. Land revaluation April 1st balance 3,000, which means previous years there's a land revaluation balance 3,500. Clear the calling out the gain then again read. Right. The land was revalued second time 22 31st March, right? 22 31st March for 18,000. How it is not record, right? End of the period lamai. So tell me land lamai closing, right? Questions provide lamai. What's the land lamai land opening balance given, right? No issues, right? No issues. Record your opening balance land 22,500, right? So can you tell me then we lamai madin join in then I will right? Land, tell me land revaluation gain or loss. Land revaluation gain or loss. Net value. Land lamai revalued for 18 million. Net value how much? 22,500. How much? Was it loss? 4,500 lost the loss, right? Lost neither. So can you tell me the double entry for the revaluation loss? Revaluation loss debit 4,500, land credit 4,500, land as a decrease. But this is a normal double entry for the revaluation loss. But there's previous year, but there's a balance revaluation resource balance the trial balance. I mean, how much of last year revaluation gain? Trial balance 3,500, right? Calling අවුරුද්දේ revaluation gain එකක් තියෙනවා නේද 3,500, right? TB balance. Therefore what's the theory? You have to recover it. May cover current year loss, recover from revaluation reserves. Revaluation reserve debit up to how much? 3,500. This is the balance. එච්චරයි anything, right? එහෙනම් how much the remaining balance? Remaining 1,000 should be recognized as a loss. That's a double entry. Clear? That's a double entry, right? So this is minus, but and also you have to record under other comprehensive income, right? Double link. Revaluation reserves debit, record under here. Opening balance. Record the debit balance here. Debit 3,500 minus revaluation loss debit 1,000, land credit 10 to here. Revaluation $4,500. Understand? When a debit, here credit. Right. Now okay the but lamai here but lamai me revaluation reserves changes how much 3500 ne same thing recorded under other comprehensive income me changes in revaluation reserves 3500 disclose the same thing disclose under other comprehensive income. දැන් ඔය ලීව් වෙලා යන ළමයි ආයේ ජොයින් වුණා කොහොමද අල්ලගන්නේ රෙකෝඩින් බලන්න. I think there are no any adjustments relevant for lands. So you can write down here closing balance that revalued amount end of the period 18,000. Don't record all the opening balances here, right? කරලා යනවා එකක් complete කරලා ඉන්න ඉස්සලා. හරිද? Next one, the building and motor vehicles have been right. Next step, row number 5. The building and motor vehicles have been purchased during the year October 1st and January 1st respectively, which means building purchase October 1st, motor vehicle purchase January 1st. However, the current year depreciation has calculated erroneously based on the cost of without considering the purchase date. Right, therefore the depreciation is definitely incorrect. Clear the right? The question says property plant depreciate straight line basis as follows: building 5%, motor vehicle 10%, office equipment 20%. So the motor vehicle are used in distribution cost. So distribution expense depreciations, other side me. Right, no issues. Right, very easy. Right. So first of all, I record the building, motor vehicle, office equipment opening balances. 9,500, 9,500 and 7,500. Yeah, record here. No any issues. $7,500. Clear. And also accumulated depreciations. Now my accumulated depreciations, right? Accumulated depreciations lamai provides me opening balance. We don't know, right? Building and motor vehicles and office equipment, right? So closing balances lamai provides accumulated depreciation. So reverse and you have to identify the opening balance. 3,500, 2,500. So what are the depreciations value calculated during the period? 725, 1,550, 1,500 ni. So reverse and identify the opening balance first of all, right? Because question says motor vehicle and buildings my depreciations incorrect ni. These two incorrect. Huh? So recalculate. We have to recalculate it. So calculate and tell me the opening balance. Also opening balance of building accumulated depreciations. I think office equipment depreciations are already calculated, correct? Huh? But only building and motor vehicles incorrect, right? Office equipment which means open office equipment is correct. How much? 3,775 on opening balance. 9,950 motor vehicle. Office equipment 1,000. Yes, 1,000. These are the opening balance, so you have to disclose here. 1000 neda, right? So again lama you have to recalculate what depreciations of what building and depreciations of motor vehicle. But lamai this one lamai office equipment depreciations correct ni, so record it here. You have to disclose it here, but don't record again under admin, nah? Right? Don't record under admin because which is already calculated. තේරෙනවද? අර උඩ තිබ්බ නේද? Row number 2. Row number 2 ළමයි අර depreciation expense 2025 කියලා තිබ්බනේ, which means this one and also this one, this is correct, but only this building you have to recalculate. Therefore again don't record this one under admin. ඒක හරියට දාලා තියෙන්නේ. හරිද? ආයෙ දාන්න එපා. හරි. Right. So now you have to recalculate ළමයි depreciations for the current accounting period. Right, depreciations. Okay then. Me calculate the building depreciations. Building lamai during the period purchases also record here lamai. Building me purchase things also record under here. Only disclose lamai. Those are recorded already. 5,000 motor vehicles lamai 6,000 only. Disclose, disclose. Don't record the double links. Cash වලින් එහෙම අඩු කරන්න එහෙම නැහැ ගිහිල්ලා. හරිද? මේ only disclose. Clear? Right. So calculate the correct depreciation. Opening balance lamai 9,500 ni. So depreciation rate 5%. You can depreciate for 12 months. 12 months. But purchase 5,000. But how many months? Then motor vehicle, sorry, building purchase lamai October 1st, right? Me October 1st to 31st March. Only 6 months period you have to depreciate. $475. 125. Was it 600,000? Depreciations building 600,000. 600, right? Yes. So you have to record the double linked, yeah? For but lamai first of all under admin then incorrect depreciation 725 neda. You have to reverse, incorrect one first of all reverse building depreciations 725 me. First of all reverse the incorrect one. වැරදික අයින් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා. Understand? Right, now record the correct one. Me building depreciations debit 600, accumulated depreciations credit 600. Me depreciations debit here. Me correct building depreciation. අර වැරදික අයින් කරලා ඉන්න. On a debit accumulated credit me correct one record here. Okay, very easy. And also motor vehicle depreciations. Motor vehicle depreciation verse lamai incorrect depreciation how much? 1,550 ni recorded previously. First of all reverse it me. Reverse motor vehicle depreciations 1,550 on the reverse. Calculate motor vehicle depreciations now correct one. Opening balance lamai 9,500 multiply by what's the percentage? 10% for the period 950. During the purchase 6,000 10%. So I think purchase date January 1st ne? January to 31st March. Only 3 months. 3 months. 150. So correct double entry how much? 1000. Correct depreciation is 1100. Correct depreciation is 1100. Yes. So again same double entry here. Motor vehicle depreciations debit 1100. Accumulated credit 1100. Credit. Oh, that's so. Right. So I think next adjustments are relevant for provisions for claims. So you can complete the note. You can complete the note and get the net values of each balance current bond. Complete claim. No, here, sorry. I have written here incorrect. Right. What's the total of net values? 45,575. Yes. Recorded under non-current assets. Right. Row number 6. Adjustments number 6. Read. The verdict of a case filed by a customer against the company was declared on May 15th after the counting period. Declared May 15th. Right. Decisions declared May 15th. Accordingly, 550 was paid on this date and settled the claim. Claim means compensation. Me paid as at this date 550. But our accounting period ended 31st March. This is a reporting date. Right? This is a reporting date. So this case was filed December 1st. Case filed December 1st. Right? So which is here case file here when comes to December 31st March still what pending, which means what evidence, business has evidence as a reporting date අපිට තියෙනවා අපිට clue එකක් තියෙනවා එදාට, right? Therefore this is right. Hurry the remaining one. And provision regard recognized in this regard to 31st March based on the lawyer's opinion in the shown in the trial balance, right? So in the trial balance, can you tell me how much a provision for claim, which means provision for what? Provision for compensation simply. Before and tell me TV balance, claim balance how much? Provision for compensation කියලා ටිකක් බලන්න. නැද්ද නේන් තියෙනවා provision for compensation after the cash and equivalents how much huh? No, provision for compensation sorry claims how much 800 ये cash and equivalents नहीं 1250 में cash provision for claims how much 800 right yes 800 which means they have recorded as payable me they recorded as payable how much 800 which means they recorded double into what claim expense debit right 800 this double into already recorded provision for claim 800 this double entry recorded understand right so question says now the finance statements authorized for directors June June lamai what 15th authorized clear the authorized this is therefore this is what lamai adjusting event clear the, so actually here you can identify are under provision or provisions like income tax adjustments but you can write down like this right but lamai here right here මෙහෙම ගන්නකො you can identify are under provision or provision but let's like learn like this right but lamai this is paid lamai it doesn't matter so you have to adjust the payable balance as at 31st March me payable balance how much actual payable balance should be lamai 550 but here paid but 31st March we recorded 800 but you have to record the actual payable balance how much as 550 me correct double into should be record like this claim expense debit 550 provision for claim what should be 550 so can you tell me the adjustment entry can you tell me the adjustment entry කොච්චරක් වැඩිද 250 right me provision again debited මේක අර under provision එහෙම බලන එහෙමත් බලන සමහර සර්ලා ඉතින් ඒකත් හරි මේකත් හරියා එහෙමත් හරි right 550 claim expense credit sorry 250 credit 250 both ළමයි deduct අර වැඩි දාලා තියෙන එක අයින් කරනවා තේරෙනවද දැන් here ළමයි paid but here ළමයි this is adjusting so you have to correct you have to record here as payable right so payable should be like this but here actually over provision na over provision එකක් තියෙන එක understand over provision clear ame tick the TB balance me here record provision for claims tick the TB balance tick එකක් දාන TB මේ this is the TB balance නේ tick the TB balance 800 right so provisions debit me minus 250 provision debit 250 you can directly deduct it from other expenses me yeah reversal claim in your answer sheet I think lamai this one again reverse and recorded එහෙම reverse කරලා දාලා මේක this is just difference කෙලිම මෙහෙම දාන්න පුළුවන් ඔය answer sheet එක I think in A level paper answer sheets 800 to 550 පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා මෙතන හරිද එහෙම දැම්මත් එකයි ඔහොම දැම්මත් එකයි හරිද right understood here you can write down me adjust the provision how much 550 I'll put red color number 6 right next one lamai right lease adjustment right lease adjustments very easy leasing right row number 7 the company entered into lease agreement 22 March 1st, highlight the date March 1st, right? So what are the steps to write off lease asset? First of all, identify right of use asset and lease liability. Second one, record installment, right? There can be error. Third step, record interest, right? Fourth step, classify current liability, non-current liability. Fourth step, uh, record the depreciations, right? Record the depreciations. Clear? So then here am I entered into the agreement March 1st. Our accounting period ended 31st March. Before 1 month, March 1st entered into the lease. Clear? So I'll take Lama here note number 1, sorry, note number 3 for right of use and deducted accumulated depreciations. Right? Obtain right of use asset for 4 years period. However, the billing was available 31st March. Right? The billing right of use asset Lama available for use as at 31st March. So, right? So, that you have to start to depreciate lama when the asset is available for use ni, but the accounting period ended ni. Should we depreciate for the period? එහෙනම් 31st March නේ depreciate කරන්න පටන් ගන්න ඕනේ නේද? So should we depreciate for the period? Should we depreciate it? No, no need to depreciate, right? No depreciations. Clear? Right. So next one. After spending 500 renovation during the period that building you have to renovate during this period renovation 500. So this is what direct cost, right? Direct cost means when to asset get available for use, renovate karanna epa building එක. This should be a direct cost, right? Direct cost. Clear? Should be direct cost. Huh? So the renovation is expected to generate benefits to the company over the entire lease periods, right? However, this has been accounted in other administrative expense. So this one lamai the correct double entry of direct cost debited to a right of use asset ni 500 credited cash ni, right? But they have debited to what? It has been debited to administrative expense me debited to admin expense. 500 cash credit 500 on error. Cash okay, but debit entry should be debited to here. What's the correction entry? What's the correction entry? Admin should be deducted again. Clear? 500 debited to what? Right of use asset. Oh, there's an error correction first of all. I think in the TB Ramai, in the trial balance, we say right of use asset 12,600, right? Right, me? So you have to deduct this one, me? Right of use asset debit. Here 500, I'll record here like this. 500 plus admin minus. I'll write down direct cost of right of use asset. Clear? No, cash එක එවුලන්නේ නැහැ. No issues with cash, right? Cash එක එවුලන්නේ right of use debit, admin debited. Admin again credit debited to right of use. Right. Okay, the cash debit can. Okay, right of use plus admin minus cash එක issue එකක් නැහැ නේ. ඉතර cash එකක් ගැන හිතන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ. Right, okay the next one. Interest is not charged during the renovation period. I mean, no need to calculate interest. Therefore, no interest for the period. Interest එකක් තෝරන්නේ නැහැ. Right. And also, according to the agreement, annual lease rental annual lease rental 4,413,000 is payable to 2021, right? That is what next year lease installment. Therefore, this is the end of the period. Therefore, no need to pay installment as well, right? Installment එකක් නැහැ. And lease interest for the 2021 1,890 are next year interest. Clear? Next year interest and next year installment are to calculate current liability. Understood? Therefore, right, you have to do only current liability and non-classifications. So first of all, what's the trial balance lease liability and right of use asset? Right of use asset 12,600. Take the TV balance. Therefore, adjusted value how much? 13,100. Lease liability take the value 12,600. Me lease creditor 12,600 lease creditor. Yes, take the TB balances. Meter make adjust color, write down the adjusted value. No depreciations in the net value also 13,100. No interest, right? No interest, so no depreciations. So you have to classify this one as current and non-current liability. Current liability. Next year installment minus next year interest. Next year installment was how much? Next year rental value 4 million. 1,890 next year. So tell me the current liability. 2,523. So deducted from this one. 10,077. Correct? Current non-current liability is correct. Why? Right? Okay, Neil. $2,523. Lease liability 13th 12,600. Don't edit this one, huh? Right? Don't record this one because lease liability 12,600. Lease liability and direct down payment and direct cost would be right of use asset. Lease liability තමයි එන්න ඕනේ. Right, okay neither the lease adjustments also finished. So record the net value here 13,100 recorded on a note. Income tax adjustments, right? So tell me in trial balance lamai how much paid income tax in TB Tell me how much the paid income tax? 1,250, right? Tommy, take the TV balance. Take the DB balance. Right. Now read the adjustments. Income tax paid during the year included 524 last year. Right. For the last year, paid tax lamai 520. So how much should be the current year income tax? How much should be the current year income tax? This one deducted from total. Make it deduct kar. 730, right, Tommy? This is the paid amount for current year. Right. Right. Read the remaining one. Total income tax liability for the 2020 estimated as 650. 20 means current period. Current period total income tax expenses estimated as how much? 650. Right? This is the total tax. Clear? So, therefore, paid excess sum only. Therefore, what's the difference here? What is the difference? 80 neither. What is this 80? It should be prepaid. It should be prepaid. Clear? So I'll take under workings income tax adjustments, right? Income tax. So this is the one you have to recognize as an income tax expense. $650, but this one I recorded under what? Current asset. Prepaid ni. Prepaid recorded under current asset. Or income tax receivable or not income tax prepaid. But right, these two. Okay, the prepaid income tax. So income tax receivable. Now my last year paid tax. So I will draw the box bucket. This one, write me provision for income tax. So tell me, look at the trial balance provision for income tax was how much last year? April 1st. Last item 400, right? Ami payable balance lamai in the TB 400 TB payable balance. Clear? So during the period lamai paid how much? 520. Paid 520. Clear? 520. Therefore, this is the actual final tax for last year. Make it given on harima tax, but recorded payable balance how much? 400. And then payable balance tell me under payables or O payables. Under payables or O payables. Compare with the paid one. Na? Tell me under payables or O payables. Under payables me deficits. You have to increase the payable balance for last year. How much? 120. This is the one we call, but under provision. Under provision. Clear? So it should be added to the current year income tax. So total income tax how much? 770. Right. Okay. The always here compare the provision payable or last year payable balance compare with the last year paid amount, right? Payable එක වැඩි වෙනවා over provision, payable එක අඩු වෙනවා under provision. Right. Okay. The finished. Now you have record ළමයි TB balances. Untick TB values record. දාලා නැතිව record කරගෙන යන්න. Right. Now finish නේද? Right. Let's complete the question now. Right. Record the remaining TV balances. Property, plant and equipment, okay. Right of use, okay. Sales 79,500. So here adjust it 79,500 and record 79,000. Cost of sales recorded. Trade receivables here 5,400. Trade payables 15,500. Inventory 6,488 recorded. Cash and equivalents 1,250. Provision for claims recorded. Stated capital amount which is closing balance, but there are no any adjustments. So you can record it as opening balance, but that is closing balance actually. Yeah? Closing balance, no any transaction, so record as opening balance. Return earnings opening balance for 5,650. Land revaluation reserves 3,500. General reserves no. So administration expense payable 300. Admin expense 6,000. 6,462. Distribution cost 5,600. TB balances. Finance cost 1,009. Finance 1,009. Other expenses 1,500. Lease liability recorded. Income tax also okay recorded. Provision for income tax also finished, right? That's all. Try to balance. Balance another. No any other incomes. Gross profit 27,962. Distributions total 5,500. Correct. Admin total 5,486. No need to record here. Direct record in the face. Other expenses 2,250. Finance 1,900. So profit before tax how much? 12,825. Profit for the period 12,055. Here 8,555. So here total comprehensive usni. So record the total companies, then this is recorded in the general reserves, revaluation reserves. So එතන දානවා මොකද්ද මේක return earnings 12,055. Get the totals. Here 0, 17,705. Stated capital retained earnings right balanced. I'll record the balance here. $72,155. Yes. Balance ne? Right. So මතක් කරලා ලියන්න note number 1. Complete the note number 1. Profit before tax calculated by deducting following expenses. Remember ළමයි directors අර here ළමයි remember directors remunerations මතක් කරලා ඒක ලියන්න. Directors remunerations 900. Depreciations, record depreciations, motor vehicle depreciations, building depreciations. I think revaluation loss, right? And also finance cost me finance expense එකත් ලියන්න because and ළමයි I think are that under row number 2, right? Classifications of admin, there were audit fee, audit fee, record that audit fee also. Audit fees were so much 275. Claims me claims for customer, then here claims ළමයි here claims 250 ni. That is reversal ni, right? But actual claims was I think 550, but here me 550 ni to claims. Record these three as well as depreciations, land revaluation loss and finance cost. Don't record minus figures, it doesn't matter incorrect values, just write down with the calculated amounts.